Call this meeting to order Monday, September 16th. Roll call, please.
Kane.
Here.
Deline.
Here.
Boone.
Here.
Schott.
Here.
Swagen.
Here.
And Anderson.
Here. The agenda was sent out on Friday. There's, under item number 11, there's a request to add 2 travel to the stabilization pond workshop for street and water department. James Byrne and Jeff Cartwright. Are there any other changes?
So do you want to add the bid opening? Jerry?
Yeah, those are good.
Oh, yeah, I put it under new business, just consider bids for substation access roads, so, we did open them this afternoon, so we'd like to move forward in that, so.
Let me make a motion to adopt the amended agenda.
Second.
Motion by Delaney and seconded to adopt the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes were also sent out for the September 3rd meeting on Friday. A motion to approve the minutes.
You make a motion to approve the minutes?
Delete a second.
Motion by Kane and seconded to approve the September 3rd minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No public hearings or visitors to be heard. Or committee reports. Department head report.
Actually, we have to exit council meeting, right?
Just recess the council right now, just recess the council and then.
Convene as BMPC, or
Here's the cable vision. Yeah.
Going to recess?
Yeah.
All right, recess at 7:33. I'll need a motion for that, do I?
No motion.
Just declare.
No, next one.
I just call to order the Beresford Cable Vision annual meeting. Take roll call, please.
Boone.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Deline.
Here.
Schott.
Here.
Swagen.
Here.
And Anderson.
You get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Delete so moves.
Put on second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes were also in the packet from the January 2nd, 2018 meeting. Any changes or a motion to approve?
We'll move to approve the minutes.
Put a lot of pressure on
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the January 2nd, 2018 minutes. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And on to the treasurer's report.
Inside the council packet is the 2018 cable TV annual report. Operating revenues was $458,603.23. Expenses were $452,294.36. Ending the year with a revenue of $6,308.87. Yay.
So I wanted to add something before you approve you have to approve the operating statement, and what Elaine just provided for you there, if you look at the total operating expenses of $452,294, Approximately 92% of that goes out the door to programmers, and leaving the rest of it, $32,695 just for general operating costs. So that's all I have on
Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second,
Wait a second.
further discussion?
I got a question. On the membership, is it going up or down? Are we trying to figure out something for this time period? Changes being made with everything going on. Is there anything we can do to make more membership?
Is this pertaining to the operating statement, or is
Well,
this
yeah, the
general
money
information?
is revenue.
Subscribers, are they going
Yeah.
up, or subscribers, like the
Let's come
number?
get to that in the manager's report.
Okay.
All right, get this approved first.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, general manager's report.
Art, I'll get to your question in the midst of my report here. First thing on my report, what I'd like to touch on is the KTTW issue last night, the Vikings-Packers game, actually yesterday at noon. It was working right up till, Tom said you saw it for a couple minutes of the game, first drive. After I had my guys called them immediately after Tom texted me, Nathan, I had to go down to the office, and immediately we look at the signal coming into the office. The signal is at 0. In my office, my TV over there is operating off of just an antenna that's mounted on the side of my building. Has nothing to do with just for cable vision. And all channels were working except for 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, and channel 12. So we knew it was more likely off the air. We got a hold of somebody at KTTW. He dispatched somebody to go out to the tower site and told me it'd be a half hour, 45 minutes. Is the report that got back to me. And lo and behold, I think it was first part of fourth quarter. When I texted you guys is when I saw it come back on. I was out of town, able to get in on my app, tore our head in and see what was going on. And so it returned. So what we found out today is it sounds like the coverage radius, or somehow it shrank. So in other words, I believe they lost power. They didn't lose 100% of the power. I was advised that we weren't the only ones down. Another town northeast of us was also experiencing the same issues. And you may have heard reports in between here and Sioux Falls that the antennas were working, and that is true. Some of them were working, but ours were not. So there's other people, some of your other providers, they operate off what they call a studio feed. And a studio feed is a fiber optic from their studio. They do not receive it over the air like we do. And that is an option for us. However, to convert it from a studio feed, bringing it in over fiber and converting it to RF, which our system is set up as, very expensive to be able to do. So we're still receiving all of our locals over the air at this time. So today, as we talked with the gentleman, mid-morning, it went down again. And about noon, it pixelated and dropped one more time. Throughout the rest of the day, it looked like it was fairly stable. I will have a better report towards the end of the week. And, I'll maybe shoot you guys a mass email on what they found on their end.
It's nothing with our equipment, it's with their equipment.
Can't rebroadcast something I'm not receiving, so.
Timing could not have been worse.
It's kind of funny, talked to Jerry last week, and even my group after the tornado in Sioux Falls just said, we're supposed to get some bad weather tonight. We thought long and hard on it in the past, and maybe run through your head on some kind of disaster recovery. I don't know that this was really a disaster, but nothing we could have did to prevent it. So you're right, very bad timing. I'm thinking more Super Bowl, World Series, not Vikings Packers.
Colts won't be in the Super Bowl either, Todd.
What's that?
Colts won't be in the Super Bowl, so it won't matter.
Yeah, I wouldn't think about myself.
Oh.
So anyway, that's the update on that, and I think later this week they're gonna continue to research what's going on. And I'll let you guys know when more info becomes available. Some other information.
Were you gonna maybe have Elaine put that on Facebook so there's not so much hatred directed towards the city? Because there was quite a bit on Facebook yesterday. Just a thought.
Civic Plus did go up. Has everybody signed up for Civic Plus? Civic Ready? Got the announcement?
Yep, I did.
So if not, I encourage you to pick up a pamphlet. I think it's in our newsletter. I think
It's on our website.
it's on your website, on Beresford SB website. And you would have got a notification that it was down and everybody's working on it. So it was I got a voice call and also got a text message. So. Any other questions, concerns about that? All right. I know this general report is what generally happens in 2018, but I'm going to give some information and some data that brings us up to date. Subscriber count comparison from 9/1 of 2018 to 9/1 of 19. Tier 1, we've added 2 customers. Tier 2, minus 33 customers. A couple of them moved to expanded basic with digital, which I show a positive 4 customers. Set-top box rental, we had a positive 5 customers. And some of the digital packages that we had a slight decrease in numbers, and I'm talking like 1 or 2 subscribers per package. So seeing a slight decrease in that. Revenues, as Elaine showed here, we show a positive impact or a positive cash flow. A lot to do with, we lost subscribers, but we increased the cost of the programming. So on our end. That answer your question, Mark?
Yes. Thank you.
Technical issues, HITS platform, that's our digital set-top box platform. We were informed that on December 31st of this year, that there were no longer, it's called HITS Quick Take Plus, was going to be available. And we had to make a decision at that time if we want to continue with the digital service. I think it cost us between $14,000 and $20,000 if we were to upgrade. And my first take on it was maybe we should discontinue the service and push people more towards streaming. Started to analyze it a little better, a little more, I said a little more detail on it. And when I looked at it over a 3-year period, it proved to me that we could make this work with a 3-year depreciation on the investment we made this year. So I feel very positive that I think we can maintain. I think the boxes, the improvements that it gave us, hopefully we need a little better marketing, a little harder marketing, and so forth on the cable TV side. So with this service, it requires a set-top box. We upgraded to HITS NAS, which is a National Authorization Nation Services platform, on August 21st. Did it at about 2 or 3 in the morning. Pretty successful. I think we had maybe 9 set-tops that didn't take the firmware upgrade. We had to hit the whole system out of 100 plus boxes, and I think there was 9 of them that didn't take the firmware upgrade that we had to roll the truck the next couple of days. And again, just hit them again, and the upgrade took. What it's going to give our customers is a 16:9 HD guide. So if you see the guide on these set-top boxes, it's a better guide layout. It's easier to read. It will give you the HD auto tuning, and that means if you go to channel 11, 13, it'll take you to the high def channel if you have that package. If you have some of our other digital package that has high def programming in it, and you subscribe to the HD basic, it'll automatically, if you go to the 2-digit channel, it'll take you to the high def channel immediately. So. We also installed what they call a VLS server, and in the past, the guide was actually transported from the HITS Quick Take. It was up to the satellite, down to our system, and out to the set-top boxes. And that guide would take Actually, I'll start with VLS server. So we put the server in-house over there, and with an internet connection, it keeps that server up to date. Anybody unplugs their box today, it now takes about 15 minutes to get the guide loaded, about 4 hours out. In the past, it took about 1.5 hours to get it loaded 4 hours out. Now today, about 2 hours, it's fully loaded. In the past, that box, to get it fully loaded, took over 24 hours to get it fully loaded. So another improvement, because sometimes with boxes, if they were to lock up or a storm come through and they lock up, you ask the customer to pull the power and power cycle it. And again, it's hard to record anything without the guide being loaded. So much faster response time on that. With this upgrade, the technicians will be able to check their levels on the tuners, make sure the tuners are working correctly before they send them out in the field. There are dual tuners on them, and sometimes one, if it's a little weak, when you put it out there, a customer's got a little bit of a weak signal, you'll get a lot of pixelation and so forth on one tuner, which generates to be a call out as a trouble ticket. The diagnostics to see if the guide is loading at the time the technician's there. You go into the diagnostic screen and find out if the guide's loading. Also in the diagnostic screen, you can review the firmware, if firmware updates have taken or not. So hopefully it'll be a more rock solid product than we have offered in the past. DMX Music. On the set-top boxes, they used to be channels 900 and 941. They ceased April 30th of 2019. Wasn't us that took them off, it was DMX that actually ceased operations, and so they're no longer available today. We're looking at an alternate source called Stingray Music. I wanted to get this upgrade done first, and then look and see where we're at as far as cost to the customer, and analyze or review the Stingray Music, see what it's going to cost for us to provide it, if we provide it. Other sources of revenue that the cable division has been seeking, and that's surveillance systems. And from January 1, 2018 to date, we installed 9 systems. From 2018 to current, making it a total of 17 systems that we've installed in the city of Beresford. Additional cameras to 3 existing systems. Installed 1 over-the-air antenna and quartered out a couple more. Local retransmission agreements. We have 1 that's up this year. They're 3-year contracts for the local channels. ABC, CBS, and NBC have 1 year left in their contract in 2020. KTTW, the last go around, they only did a 2-year contract, therefore they're up at the end of this year. So with Tom's help, does most of the heavy lifting on the negotiations. Hopefully we can come out with a favorable rate. 2018 to 19, we saw an increase from $14.81 to $16.95, and that is total with all 4 stations: ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. So again, $14.81 to $16.95. It's been on a schedule of about 15% every year, and I'm expecting, I've got everything in line for this year except for KTTW, and again, we have to negotiate that figure, but I'm expecting about another possible 15% increase again this year. And what we've been doing with locals is you'll see a line item on your bill, and it'll say local retransmission, and what they're charging us is what we're charging our subscribers, which is the break even. I'll pause for any questions so far. Local subscriber rate review. We've gone through this before, and I believe we began this, and Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but we started the retransmission charges in 2009. Prior to that, Beresford Cable received the local channels at free of cost, and they become where they started charging us, and it started in 2009 at 72 cents a subscriber. Since it's grown to 2019 to $16.95 per subscriber. That's going from an annual amount of $4,700 to $97,000 in programming costs on just local channels. Over 2,000% increase to today. So 2020, we're looking at, again, approximately 15 to 20% increase from the local channels. And that's not any of the satellite channels. So. Other services we continue to look at, streaming services, just to name a few: Sling TV, YouTube TV, DirecTV Now, Hulu. I mean, there's multiple. I know some of you in this room have those types of services today. So, any questions? That's my report.
Thank you, Ted. Go on to election of officers.
Billy moves to keep Teresa as president.
Keith second.
Motion made and seconded to have Teresa Swagan as president. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do
Great.
we need treasurer
So
and
we need a vice president.
Can you make a motion to nominate Joe Colleen as vice president for Cape Creek?
Boone second.
Motion made and seconded for Gerald Deline as vice president. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then is it secretary treasurer?
Actually, Elaine is nominated for treasurer.
Do we need to re-elect? So I can make a motion to re-elect Elaine as treasurer and secretary.
Keith second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And is that it? I think that's all. All right, so no further business, a motion to adjourn.
Keith moves to adjourn.
second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Declare us back in session 7:53. Under old business, update on FEMA.
Yeah, Elaine and I and Jeff met, or didn't meet, we had a conference call with our FEMA representative. They finally assigned us somebody that would be helping us out and try to work through all the repairs that we've done. It's not a real favorable. The guy was, we talked about some of the frost heaves is what we've had mostly. We didn't have flooding and things like that, but mostly frost heaves. And he sounded pretty sure that we'd get some money on that. Unfortunately, the next morning I got here and he's been reassigned to somewhere else, so we haven't met our new fellow yet. So he is supposed to be coming down sometime this week or early next week to actually walk the sites and take a look at them. So we're hoping he has the same attitude as the other fellow did. So we'll see how that goes. But I just want to let you guys know, I mean, it is a pretty good thing if we can get that covered. It'll put us in pretty good shape. We are going to look at buying Gary's and down by the bus barn there. Some hazard mitigation funds, which is redoing a road that wasn't built probably up to the normal specifications we would have, but it'll hopefully solve all the frost heaves we've had there, especially this year. Usually there's one or two, but this year we must have had half a dozen of them out there because it's just destroyed the road. So we're hoping that we can get some funding through them. So he's going to bring his hazard mitigation FEMA person down for that part of it. So we'll continue working on that. But what we've done so far, if they get approved, we get reimbursement just about immediately. And going forward, obviously we'll work with them to get the reimbursement as we make any other needed repairs. So that's just kind of an update for you guys. So we are working towards that and we hope to get money back.
What's the time frame? I mean,
18 months. from the time we started to the time we're done, and then it could be extended if you have other circumstances, so. We would have all of next year to get them fixed also.
So the street behind Jerry Chevrolet, will any work be done on that this year, or are we waiting?
Probably not. We've got a cost estimate that's over $175,000 to fix it. So we probably end up either bidding that out or doing something that way in order to get that done. So that might take some engineering, things like that. So when it's that high priced. As far as what they might do, they'll probably authorize us to just put a temporary fix on it, just like we have had in front of the school down there. And that was, normally we would have dug all that way out, but it's holding pretty good right now. We have an okay winter, it might hold for some time, but this other road by Jerry's, I think that's gonna take everything being torn out, down to just like we did in front of the swimming pool, so. And we hope that one, we'll see how that one holds up next year. Those are a couple areas that seem like we either have high water tables or something, because we've always had some frost heaves in those particular areas. So, any other questions about FEMA?
New business, second reading and adoption of ordinance 2019-05 fiscal year 2020 appropriations.
Yeah. After last meeting, I wrote all the changes and suggestions you guys had. So rather, I didn't send all of the stuff back out to you again. I just highlighted those areas that were changed on each of those budgets, so you could take a look at them. So hopefully you all have a chance to look at them. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but you guys stop me if you want me to talk. Or you guys want to discuss anything further about any of the reductions we made. Under the city council contingency funds, we did decrease that from 40 to 30,000. The police, the car was removed. We removed $40,000 from that budget for the car and the other stuff, the gauge and all that kind of thing that he needed there. The street department, we dropped the machinery and auto budget from 35 to 25, hoping that we could find a used vehicle, and that took $10,000 off of there. Any further, Bureau, on that one you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess I was gonna wait till the end, but I'll just throw this out. After Jeff was here and discussed about possibly purchasing a replacement pickup, I went and talked to him about it today, and asked him what the real use of the pickup would be. I guess he stated taking it to classes and going to Sioux Falls, and I asked him how many times him or Keith or whoever would go to Sioux Falls to pick up equipment or haul material back with a pickup, and once a month, maybe 3 times a month at the most. It's not that common. I think he said he went up once this summer himself with a pickup. So I asked him if we could consider removing that from his budget. I guess one of the things that I've looked at, and I think a lot of us council members have looked at it a couple times and never done it. Not that we would be saving any money or finances, but to take the pickup out of the street department for this year and consider buying a fleet vehicle for anybody in the city that is going to attend a meeting, where they could take that versus a pickup that would get 14 to 17 miles to the gallon. Hopefully a car or a minivan of some sort would outdo that. So I guess that's kind of what I'm proposing. Like I said, I don't know that we'd be saving anything. We would be just taking the 25,000 out of the street department. And would we dispense it so much out of each department? Or how would we do it, just out of the city council's contingency fund? And I guess I just want to have a discussion about that tonight and see what you guys think about doing something like that and having, I think we should consider looking at a 2020 Impala or something on the fleet market out there that probably wouldn't be completely loaded. I'm saying something that's comfortable to ride in, but yet, it's not fully loaded Impala or Traverse or whatever. So, any thoughts about that?
Is there a state bid on a vehicle like that?
I would assume it
Should be.
should be.
Yeah, the 2020 bid's probably coming in a month or so, the 19s are pretty well out, done.
And I guess the first thought that I have is that, you know, I don't know if we can leave it sitting on the street at night, because I think we have parking restrictions in the AM hours, and of course if it ever snowed or whatever, but I guess I don't know where the answer would be to keep the vehicle, or is it City Hall, is it behind City Hall over here? Just something I was thinking about after our last.
Why wouldn't you assign it to Jerry and then,
Well, that's what I mean. I think it should be assigned to here, the City Hall, but still that it's available on a trip to a meeting instead of, I know like the telephone department, they take the pickup, and maybe they could take instead of driving the pickup and 16, 17 miles a gallon, maybe they can take the car. Just depends on how, I mean, if there's two people, then we're gonna have to make a decision.
Well, I think there's enough people that travel for the city and city employees that if we had a car, it would save the employees having to use their own vehicles and wear and tear in their own vehicles. I mean, I think we'd have to set something in place where, I know the state, I can't remember how the state does it, if you have access to a state vehicle, your reimbursement is lower for miles if you decide to take your own vehicle versus if you didn't have access to it.
Joe and I talked about that a little bit.
Right.
For us, it's about a third. If there's a vehicle available, you opt and are able to use your own car.
But,
You get about a third.
right. But I think a lot of employees, instead of having to wear and tear on their own vehicle, would just soon drive the city's vehicle. I mean, I certainly am one. So I think it's a great thing for the city council's contingency fund to do that.
I talked to Ben from the golf course, and he made a comment that him and Todd, I don't know if he's doing that, but he said he has a working relationship to borrow your truck once in a while to go to Sioux Falls.
He borrowed it one time.
Yeah, but he said he was real happy that there was a working relationship, that he didn't have to use his own vehicle to go pick up some supplies from Sioux Falls, that he'd rather do that than use his own vehicle.
Well, like I said, I talked to Jeff today to find out if he really had a desire, that he really had a need, I should say, for a replacement pickup. And I guess after talking to him, I straight out told him it's a little tough for me to think that 3 times a month that we really need that vehicle in that department. So I think if we could stretch it around the other departments. But that's the only thing that I wanted to talk about on the agenda, or on the budget, I'm sorry.
Great idea.
Well, I just got one question, then what's the next step?
Would we remove,
I think we would remove the street department.
and then discuss the other vehicle, look at bids, figure out how we would pay for it, whether we would distribute it amongst departments or use some contingency.
That's
I can
what
tell you from an accounting, it'd be a nightmare to try and split it. I mean, each department, say if they take it, that fuel should probably be allocated to them, but I mean, if you're gonna try and split the cost between 6, 7, 8 departments, I think it'd be better if we just say put under the city administrator's budget, knowing that each department needs to use it that way when it's available.
I mean, those
I
would
don't
be,
know, Elaine, what do you think?
I agree, completely agree.
Okay.
I mean, those discussions are ones we would have in another meeting.
Or even the
Figure
council's
out.
budget,
Right, that's what I was thinking.
put it under the council's
Do
budget.
we need a motion for that?
Marlene?
My other thought was the government buildings.
Yeah.
It's an asset. I mean, we'd have to put it on a budget tonight though, but then we could discuss further how to manage the
Well,
use of it.
The council has $30,000 in it, the city council fund, right?
Contingency fund.
Can we use it for that?
Okay,
Well, but we're trying to we're just trying to move, we're taking the 25,000 from the street department and move it to another department, not just taking it out altogether.
That's what I'm saying, if we take it out altogether and just use the city council's contingency fund for that.
You have to buy the vehicle first.
Wouldn't it be different though, because the street department had allocated 25 or 35,000 of their budget to buy a vehicle. So we'd be leaving that money there, just not approving a vehicle, right?
No, we take it out,
Take it out. So you take it out.
reduce their budget by 25,000 and increase somebody else's budget, I would say. But you're saying just take it out altogether, right?
But I'm saying, if we're not gonna spend it for what it was intended in the budget, why don't we just take it out altogether?
The only thing about completely remove, I guess my point is with the contingency, let's look at this summer at the festival in the park. We donated roughly $4,000 to help that project. If we leave our 30,000 in our contingency and we spend 25 or 22, whatever the number ends up to be, and maybe it won't even be that much, but I guess maybe we go back to the 40,000 in the city council contingency, raise it back up to 10.
Remove the other from the street
And
department.
remove the 25 from the street department, and then we can work off of that.
Well, the brand new pickup was 29,000 on the state bid. I'm guessing a car or something else would be significantly less.
Well, the two bids for the police
Impala,
department, the Impala and the Charger were like 20 grand, and I know that's different because they're police package, but it's good, I would think it would be in that ballpark-ish.
a little bit less-ish.
So if you upped the contingency fund of 40, reduce the street department by 25, that would allow purchase of a vehicle plus some extra, for sure, I would think. Because I think the last meeting we said we'd never come close to spending 40,000 in the contingency fund, correct?
And that gives us time then to determine what department to pull it out of.
So where does the other 15 go if you only gotta put 10 over to the,
We're gonna leave it out.
what?
We took $25,000 out of the street, so you take it from 605 down to 580.
Okay,
And you're adding 10,000 onto the contingency, so you take it from 30 to 40, so you're actually, in essence, you're taking out $15,000.
15,000,
So that $29,000 I think we have set up to use cash on hand would be reduced by 15,000, so you're down to 14,000.
But you also have 40,000 in the
Right.
contingency fund,
Exactly.
assuming you're never gonna spend close to that.
Correct. Just take another 15 out of that. Which will leave you $14,725 in cash on hand at the end of the year that we would use. So technically, that we would use it. We normally don't have to.
So consensus?
I mean, kind of with the next one that's coming, we saw those bids for the pool, that, I don't wanna reduce what we put in the budget, because I know there's extra things, but I think that's where maybe we can save that extra 15,000. Not now, let's leave it as applied cash of 14,007, but just thinking long-term at the end of next year. I'm fine with the 14.
Right, so we got those changes made. Park, we just maybe moved the pitching mound, and we do have 100,000 in there for the bathroom, and I did send a copy of what we had got back in 2018 on that one. I talked to Jane, just told Jane down at the library just a little bit today, and she said, if you guys can afford it, it'd be nice to put in one extra bathroom just for transgender people anymore. And she's starting to think we're gonna see more and more of that. So anyway, that's just something for you guys to think about too. And we have contacted people up in Sioux Falls there, the guys at 12th Street that make all the precast concrete. They apparently are doing this now, and Kelly has talked to them, and he's gonna get a quote from them, but we don't have it yet. But they do the bathrooms, which would be nice because it's awful close from here. So I mean, we'd probably save a lot just travel costs to bring that over, but, the one off.
I went on their website, and maybe they have different offerings, but all they have listed are Volt.
Yeah, he said they were doing these too, so I looked at the one out there in the hills too, and that's all they have is ball toilets out there. So, but I think, 100,000, I know that might be a bit on the high side, but, that should give us a little bit of flexibility as far as what we do in and around it. And we want it to look nice when we're all said and done, so probably gonna have to pour some concrete around the edges and do a little bit of landscaping too. Subsidies, I didn't write them all down, because you guys changed quite a few with the copies in there with everything highlighted, so we did, you actually did increase it from 65.6 to 67.1, so we actually went up a little bit there. And on the enterprise accounts, liquor store, I think, this was suggested at the last meeting, Teresa said, well, why don't we use 6,000? And as I looked at that, it makes sense. We're trending pretty good again this last couple of months. Our revenue's up again compared to last year, and a lot of that revenue is being driven through our on sale, which is where we make most of our money. Off sales are down, and that's probably attributed a little bit to what we have out at the grocery store, but we're making it on that other end. We're getting 10% out there, so we are making it in a roundabout way. So, but I think that's a good thing to take some of that over and put it back into the general fund. Electric, again, was suggested. Let's see what we can do and move them down to 350 each. Big projects these guys got going on, and we did do that with the reductions you guys made. We were able to take both electric and telephone down to 350,000. So we've got total transfers decreased by about 94,000, and those numbers changed just a little bit, but we'll be taking 14,725 in implied cash, money that we didn't spend last year that we still have in the budget. So those are the changes that were made. If everyone's good with them, we'd like to go forward and have you guys do the second reading, take a motion to adopt, and then we can get these numbers down to the county so that they can get them onto the tax rolls for next year.
The motion to adopt.
So I can make a motion to accept second reading and adoption of ordinance 2019-05 fiscal year 2020 appropriations.
Motion made by Swaggin and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reading is accepted. Next item, the 2019-20 Safety Management Program contract.
We've got the renewal here coming up from October 1 through September 30th of next year, and this year's renewal is at $11,550, and this takes care of all of the safety program, which we utilize. Any of our departments can use it. That'll go to the city hall, but sometime I've been to a few of them. I know Todd and his staff, they're pretty much there all the time, so it's a good thing. It helps out with our workers' comp stuff, and we have this program in place. It costs a little bit, but I think we haven't had a lot of workers' comp claims, and so we're fortunate there. I think you guys do a good job of attending these and just make them think a little bit before they do something. So we would like to go ahead and have you authorize the mayor to sign that one also.
Also with that, Bruce Westergaard, the instructor that comes down, has been sitting with the safety committee, giving us guidance, of just helping us out. So he not only is helping with the training, but he's also helping get the safety committee up and running and moving forward, which is a great resource just to keep us on track.
So the cost is not just a consultant, it's the training and everything included.
It involves just a little bit of extra training for the electric guys. They get 4 extra training sessions. Things that the rest of the guys don't have or don't do or don't have a lot of interest in doing. They won't do them. It's all just electric line related stuff like that.
Is there a motion to approve?
So I can make a motion to approve 2019-2020 safety management program contract with MMUA.
Team second.
Motion made by Swaggin and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. New hire full-time finance assistant.
Jerry and I wrapped up doing 4 interviews for the assistant finance, or finance assistant, and I would like to make a recommendation to hire Allison Krieger. Her last name is spelled Krieger, for $16.06 an hour.
A motion to approve.
Spigot, so moved.
Delino second.
Motion by Swagen and seconded. Any further discussion?
When would she start? When would that person start?
Going to start September 30th.
Hearing no further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Filling of Ward 3 council member position. I have one person who's expressed interest, possibly to, I'm gonna hold off for at least one more meeting. If anybody has any candidates, I think we'd all love to hear names. But if nothing comes forward, I think in the next meeting, I'll probably make a recommendation. Any questions? Substation access road.
Yeah, we opened bids here this afternoon. Half Jerry came down and we had pretty good response. So we were thinking we'd have about 3 bids. We ended up getting 6 bids there. We had a couple of, one from Centerville, T. Beresford, Sioux Falls, even from here, and so a good mix of bids there. We are low bid with 605 Dirt Works. They are doing the K&M tire. They've been doing all the dirt work out there for those guys, so they stopped and heard we were bidding it. We talked to Mike down at the electric shop a little bit, Pat, and they came up with a little bit of $92,580, and we would like to go forward with getting that project started.
Shall I make a motion for Dirt Works authorizing $92,580 for the dirt work?
Delino second.
Motion by Schott and seconded to accept the bid from 605 Dirt Works at $92,580. Any further discussion?
Any timeline on that, Jerry? Start with?
Yeah, it's next year is when it has to be
Next
done,
year.
but yeah, I think these guys I think will probably get started this year. It's drying out. That's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah.
All it really entails is just bringing in crushed heavy rock, gravel, geotextile fabric, and just basically putting that out on 900 feet is what they'll do to get to the substation. So give us a start on our road anyhow. It'll be heavy duty enough to get all the transformer, concrete trucks, all that kind of stuff in there.
And that's not curb and gutter,
No,
that's
that's
just
just
a gravel
gravel.
road.
That's just gravel.
Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No discussion of informational items. Travel request, as mentioned previously, we have 2 requests for the stabilization pond workshop in Mitchell. All in favor, or?
Shall I make a motion for the street department, for James and Jeff for the ponds, for travel request, as Nathan mentioned?
Motion by Schott and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Request approved. Motion to pay the bills.
Kane moves to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion by Kane, seconded to authorize payment of the bills. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries. Motion to adjourn.
Me.
Motion by Dwayne, seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
You really, you scared me.
Todd, do I get 2 phone calls?
Anytime you